ჩვენი იდეა ის არის, რომ მოეხმარებით ტურისტებს აღმოაჩინონ დაბანული hidden gem-ები, ანუ ესეთი სპეციალური ღვინოები, რომელიც მარტივად ხელმისაწვდომი არ არის ბაზარზე. პრობლემა საკმაოდ დიდია. Silicon Valley-ის ბანკმა გამოაქვეყნა 2018-ში რეპორტი, რომ ღვინის ინდუსტრიაში ესეთი რაღაცა ზოგადად არ არის გაკეთებული. ამიტომ ძალიან დიდი პოტენციალია, რომ შემდეგი ახალი $1 მილიარდიანი არაერთი რამდენიმე კომპანიას აიტანს ეს ბაზარი. ჩვენ გვინდა რომ ხელოვნური ინტელექტი დაუმატოთ ამ ათვისებას, ვისწავლოთ ტურისტებს რა უყვართ და შევთავაზოთ ის ღვინო, რომელიც მათ ესიამოვნებათ. და შემდეგ, როდესაც სწავლენ უკვე თავიანთ განვითარებულ ქვეყანაში, შევთავაზოთ ის ღვინო, აქ თუ ძნელი ხელმისაწვდომია, კიდევ უფრო მეტად ხელმიუწვდომელია და შევთავაზოთ ეს ღვინო და ვაყიდინოთ ეს იქ. ანუ ჩვენ რეალური უპირატესობა ის არის, რომ იაფად შეგვიძლია ავითვისოთ მოვიზიდოთ ხალხი აქ და გავუკეთოთ მერე ღვინო ძვირად იქ. თუ რომ მოახერხოთ, თუნდაც ღვინის 20%-ის ექსპორტი იაფი ბაზრიდან ძვირ ბაზარში გადატანა და გავაურმაგოთ ღვინის ფასი, საკმაოდ დიდ შედეგს მიიღებს არ მარტო ჩვენთვის, ღვინის ინდუსტრიისთვისაც ძალიან კარგი და ქვეყნისთვისაც ძალიან კარგი იქნება. და ჩვენი ამოცანა არის მხოლოდ საქართველოს, რა თქმა უნდა, საქართველოს გვინდა დაწყება, მაგრამ აი განუვითარებელ ნაკლებად ცნობილ ღვინის რეგიონებზე გვინდა გავაკეთოთ აქცენტი და მერე მთელი მსოფლიოს რეგიონები დავიწყოთ. Hello?
Hello.
Shall I start?
Yes. With some wine?
With some wine. With wine, yes. With digital wine.
We got samples. Wine on the blockchain. Yeah.
Wine on the blockchain in VR. Cloud-based. So hello, my name is Georgi Tukhashvili and I'm co-founder of WineFinder, helping adventurous people find the wine of their life. So it started like every other startup idea. My friend and co-founder Colin asked me to help his small problem. He couldn't find the wine that he liked, and when he found one, he couldn't keep track of it. We thought this was a very fun idea that we could do as a side project, but we stumbled upon a global opportunity. We stumbled upon an untapped reserve of big data in $250 billion market, which is underutilized. So if I were in your chair, I would not believe me, but I would believe to Silicon Valley Bank publishing a report in 2018 saying that big data play and online marketing play in wine industry basically is untouched. So just to give you an idea, in US, average rate of in retail sales, 10% comes from e-commerce, whereas in wine industry, it's just 3%. And that can be way much improved, especially for specialty wines, which is not mass produced. So the money that we are asking from Jita, we want to spend it on product development and also for sales and marketing to validate our low cost of customer acquisition. And while we understand that we can't feed the unicorn with $40,000, we want to start like Airbnb. We want to start in our own backyard and then scale the success. So starting in Georgia gives us some unfair advantages. We have absurdly low cost of digital ads. Plus, we have millions of tourists, wine-interested tourists visiting Georgia every year, and we have a commitment of government and industry on promoting our app. And I think you heard what can happen when Georgia comes along. NBA vote, Jazaza Pachulia. So, big machine learning needs data, and for that we have a really great recipe. We have a low cost of customer acquisition combined with millions of people having the problem. And starting in Georgia is a very good place because we have more than 550 indigenous wine varieties in Georgia. So when the tourists come in Georgia, they have a hard time choosing the wine. They mostly are offered mass-marketed and mass-produced wine, but they want to find this hidden gem, the specialty wines, which is not really in abundance. So, lucky enough, who finds this wine, they go back home and they want to share this experience because wine is as much about taste as it is about the experience. And that's basically unimaginable to do. So we are building the app that should solve this problem. While the user installs the application, it inputs the wine preferences and it gets recommendation which wine should they taste. And once the user interacts more and more, this wine recommendation gets better and better, and this does not stop there. If you go to any other lesser-known wine region, you have a friend, your Somal AI, that will recommend you what wine to drink when you are in the other countries, but the most importantly, when you get back home, you can buy from the application. So this is a marketing play. This is a big data marketing play at its core. So we want to target our registered and non-registered users, and we want to optimize the e-commerce experience and give the customers the ability to buy the wine. And I want to make it clear, we are not a fulfillment and logistics, so we will partner up with our companies like Degustate that was here previously in Germany, and they will do the fulfillments, we will do the sales and take the commission. We want to start in Georgia this year and launch the MVP, and by the next year we want to have 250,000 installs, and the next year we want to go into 9 additional lesser-known wine markets and then leverage the money and scale the success. And the target audience and market for this is really huge. $33 billion of export a year, and out of that, $2 billion is from lesser-known wine countries. And we want to target only 2% of that, and that gives us, in 5 years, $40 million of revenue each year. And for pilot, we also want to target only 2% of Georgian export, which gives us a very fair advantage over others. So projections is like every other startups, and it's growing exponentially. And as I've said, in 5 years, it should be around $40 million of revenue. And as Silicon Valley Bank said, we basically do not have a competition. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about Ღვინο, but Ღვინο is your wine journal application. It's the biggest wine app in the world right now, but it's not your wine recommendation engine. And the Wine Ring supposedly is the wine recommendation engine, but only managed to get 10,000 installs. So Ღვινο is wine journal, not the wine recommendation engine. And the potential of growing a big company in this wine industry is pretty huge. And while this all sounds nice, and the vision and the opportunity is there, and Silicon Valley Bank says it cannot come to life without the team and the execution that needs to grow this kind of company. I myself have been involved in fintech for quite long, and I've been fortunate enough to raise some money for my previous company, and I've joined the biggest bank in Georgia, and we created the digital loans product and platform, and we scaled it to success. Being involved in startup community is what is very engaging, and you have a chance to do something bigger than yourself. Like me and my friend Colin, we brought some startups in Silicon Valley, and we thought this was a fun trip, but it ended up one of the Georgian startups cooperating with one of the best Georgian founded startups in the US, $300 million valuation startup. So we have one of the top machine learning guys in the world, and we have international level wine sommelier, and we have an international level marketing guy. So I really love to under-promise and over-deliver, and while my projections are very low, it can easily become a first winecorn in the world. So the first unicorn company that will be in the wine industry. And the reason I'm saying that is because if we are successful enough to direct the export from cheap wine markets, like from Russia, to the Western world, we can basically double the export and double the revenue for the wine industry, for us, and especially for the country as well. And not only for Georgia, but for the whole lesser-known wine regions. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to be the first wine corn.
I have a question. So a friend of mine, he's the founder of Ღვინο.
Yes.
So I know it from the beginning. But you talk about and there is an app for craft beer lovers called Untapped.
Yes, Untapped.
That I use religiously.
Yes.
And this app has actually a very good discovery engine. So you land in Georgia, and what did I do? I click where are the trending beers, top-rated beers in this location, wherever I am, and you see them there, and you can, I can imagine that this app could just be, built around wine instead.
Yes.
Of beer, right? It's the same,
Well, okay. I'm not sure if that's
sorry. The question is, can you use? You could be using that type of. Is that the kind of idea you envisioned?
Yes.
Like an Untapped for.
Yes, exactly. So I just made it very clear here that it is basically an e-commerce play. But actually, when you get to the big data in an untouched market, you can you can find out a lot of revenue streams, like targeting the tourists. For referral, targeting them for wine tours in Georgia or in the countries that they have been. And this big data play can also help the like if you want to export the wine in the US, right, there are more than 300 million people. Who are your best choice to target them for the wine ads? It will be the people who were in Georgia, tasted the wine, and known what it is about, and then have felt this wine tasting experience.
So sorry, now I got confused. Can you go over exactly how it is different from Vivino?
Vivino does not give you a recommendation which wine to drink next.
But I go in the store, I snap a picture.
Yeah, it gives you, this is the wine.
And review too, like different people review, right?
Review, yes, but it is not a recommendation engine based on people review, which, like, you like red wine, for example, with the grape varieties that are raised in a mountain, for example. So which wine should you enjoy next? So this Vivino does not give you that engine yet.
So I want to start with something here. You said you raised $4 million
Yes.
for fintech. What happened?
The National Bank decided that it was not my time. We wanted to create a challenger bank, but then the regulations came in, and it needed at least $40 million of investment to make it successful. So
you raised the money and then people lost their money?
yes.
Okay, so I would not put it on a slide then. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be asked that all the time.
Yeah.
But
they did not lose all the
so
money.
is this kind of like Wine Spectator for Georgia?
Well, not for Georgia. Initially for Georgia maybe, but then in the lesser known wine regions as well.
Okay, but you're going up against Wine Spectator, would you say, or not?
Well, in a way,
Okay.
partially.
So I would really invite you to focus, because you might have a real competitive advantage here that Wine Spectator doesn't have the energy to or the ability to come into the Georgian market
Yes.
and really master the Georgian market, so that you then have something that Wine Spectator will want. You could have a partnership with them potentially.
Yes.
But if you do not get Georgia right
Yes.
and try to do too much, that will, I think.
I totally agree. That's why I want to focus this year and the next year on Georgian market. Yeah.
So are you assuming, is one of the assumptions that when a tourist comes here,
Yes.
you match him with a wine that is in his category of taste,
Yes.
that he will at some point in the future want to get that wine from in the country of origin, of his origin?
Yes.
Or similar.
So,
Or even enjoy it here.
well, enjoy it here, but
Yeah, but
is
when
there
they
a
get back
follow?
home.
Yeah, when
Yes.
he gets back home, is there a follow-up revenue stream?
Yes,
In other words, but in all fairness, Georgia has some good wines. But when you look at the price of those good wines and compare it with the world market, you're up against some enormous competition.
Right.
So what is the chance for follow-up business, even if you have a good wine here in Georgia? I mean, in reality.
Well, I think that chances are pretty high because, as I said, wine is not only about the taste. It is also about the experience. So let's say you are I'm not sure where you're from. Let's say you're from US and you go back to the US and you know this Georgian guy or the guy who was also in Georgia, and comes the holiday time and you want to give him something special present that he would also enjoy, right? So Georgian wine would be one of the choices that you would consider it. And we don't have a lot of bottles to export. Lesser known wine countries do not have a lot of bottles to export. If we are able to capture like several million of users, then we don't need everybody to be buying it frantically. We just need a very small percentage of them buying the wine.
So what would happen? I would order online on
Yes.
your app?
Yes.
And how would you deliver to me?
We would partner up with other people like Degustate that will do the fulfillment. Like this is
But
our
have
best
you-
case scenario, but if they are not up to the quality that we want to, like Colin's cousin is, for example, in the alcohol distribution in the U.S., so we can also do the wine garage thing, like we can label and produce our own wines and sell it to.
But have you thought about kind of excluding the e-commerce and being just an app that provides recommendation and connects with other distributors? Like if you're going outside of Georgia, for example.
Yes, it depends on the partnership. It depends on the partnership what we will get outside of the Georgia. So.
What's the investment that you need to make this happen?
on a lesser known wine markets, 9 markets that we want to target.
No, let's just say in Georgia. You got to get Georgia right. So what is it going to take for you to do the research, gather the information, construct the web applications, etc.?
Yeah, so I would say around $400,000.
$400,000.
Yes.
Has anyone digitized all the Georgian wine? Like if I, for example, can I use ღვინο here? Like if I snap a label,
Yes.
it will tell me, yeah?
Yes. Yes, they can.
I wouldn't say most, but
So I just want to add one more thing, as I see the questions are over. So I'm not sure if many of you have heard about the King David the Builder. So he was one of the biggest kings in Georgia, and his flag had a unicorn plus the cross symbol. So we want to be the first, the unifier of this wine exports in the wine industry. That's why the wine corn came out.
That's a great name.
So thank you.
You should lead with that.
საკმაოდ საინტერესო ჩაიარა. პრინციპში მოლოდინიც არ მქონდა უარესი მაინდა-მაინც. ჟურის კითხვები საკმაოდ კაი იყო და საინტერესო იყო და პრინციპში ისეთი იყო, რომ ანუ 7 წუთში ყველაფერს ვერ ჩატავდა, ამიტომ რასაც ველოდებოდი, რომ გავიჩნდებოდათ კითხვა, რომ მხოლოდ ასე იშოვით პულს და ამ შემდეგ ძალიან გამიხარდა, რომ ყველა მის კითხვები დასვლა, ძალიან მინდოდა, რომ მეპასუხა. რამდენიმე იყო კრიტიკული კითხვაც, თუმცა კრიტიკულები მაინდა-მაინც არ ყოფილან ყოველ შემთხვევაში ჩემი იდეის მიმართ. ღვინო მაინც ისეთია, რომ ყველას რთულია კრიტიკული იყო ღვინის მიმართ.
შემდეგი სტარტაპის გადაწყვეტა ეხება ღვინის ინდუსტრიას, არა მხოლოდ ქართული, გლობალურად ღვინის ინდუსტრიას და ღვინის მოყვარულებისთვის პრობლემის გამარტივებას. ეს სტარტაპი ეხმარება ღვინის ენთუზიასტებს იპოვოს მათი ოცნების ღვინო, სპეციალური აპლიკაციის მეშვეობით. ეს არის Wine Finder.
ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია, იმიტომ რომ ეს იდეის ვალიდაციას ნიშნავს რაღაც დონეზე, მართალია, ჯერ მილიონობით ხული არ მოგვიზიდავს, მაგრამ უკვე დიდი პირველი ნაბიჯი გადავდგით. რა საინდელოდ უნდა საუკეთესო რეკომენდაციას ღვინის დალევაში. რა უნდა დალიონ specialty wine-ები, რომელი უნდა დალიონ, ამას უნდა ელოდნენ ჩვენი მომხმარებლები უახლოეს მომავალში, ჯერ საქართველოში, შემდეგ 9 რეგიონში და მე მთელ მსოფლიოში, ყველგან განუვითარებელი, შედარებით ნაკლებად განუვითარებულ ღვინის რეგიონებში. მადლობა.